You go to work and your attention is focused on tasks someone set for you to complete. If you have kids, you got to provide them with a certain amount of attention to raise them properly. And when you get bored, you watch TV and or in your phone, giving media networks and tech companies your attention and data for entertainment purposes. Besides eating, sleeping, and showering, when do you pay yourself any attention? When are you focused on you and your growth as a human? You're going to naturally reflect on all that you've done for people as compared to what has been done for you, feeling depleted. So if you're unable to fill that void personally, then that's going to leave you feeling unbalanced. What happens with a lot of folks is, because of all that outputted energy of external focus, if none is reciprocated in the process, that person's going to begin to yearn for that return of attention from somewhere. This is where social media, the club, drugs, sex, anger, depression, etc. come into play. A lot of folks refer to these as vices or guilty pleasures. This is why everybody spends all this money trying to enjoy themselves, because nobody knows what the joy is within themselves.
Now, exactly how you calculate what you can pay attention to and what you can't, that's very complicated. You build that knowledge bit by bit over time, and you can be wrong about it too. So the old idea was, while you're being conscious of the environment, if anything changes radically, you will definitely focus your attention on it. And what turned out to be the case is, well, you're not very conscious of the environment, and radical things can happen, and you won't notice them unless they interfere with what you're doing. So something that emerges, that interferes with what you're doing, that you don't expect, you will instantly orient towards and concentrate on. So it isn't anomaly or novelty that attracts your attention. It's the unexpected disruption of the relationship between your behaviors and the desired outcome of those behaviors.
Folks often exchange attention for entertainment instead of giving themselves some attention and getting to know themselves so they can be their own entertainment. Caring and interest are intrigued naturally. You can provide all the attention you want, but folks forget that you can't force someone to reciprocate that energy. Folks love yearning for attention, but don't share that same passion towards self-love, self-knowledge, and self-development. You should be able to fulfill your own desires of attention personally instead of yearning for external focus to determine your emotional state. People yearn for what they feel depleted from, but you and God are the sole caretakers of your being. Stop expecting folks to fulfill what you can't provide for yourself so you can learn to appreciate shit like help, kindness, and compassion from others. Tell yourself you got this instead of trying to prove it to others. They gonna judge you anyway, whether you got it or not, so fuck them and do it for you.
You're not master in your own house, that there are forces that are operating on you at an unconscious level that determine the direction of your attention. So for example, you know how sometimes you'll read something and it'll really grip you, and then you'll read something else and you can't even concentrate on it. And you might say, well, I need to concentrate on this boring thing. There's just no damn way. You're reading it and your attention flits all over the place, and you're undisciplined and all that, but then you have this other thing and it just grips you like this, and you think, okay, well, what's doing that? It's not your will, because your will would be the thing that would allow you to concentrate on whatever you chose to concentrate on. It's something underneath your will that's actually directing your attention. And you could say, well, it's random, but of course it's not. It's maybe random if you have a serious case of schizophrenia, but it's not random if you're a functioning human being. The thing that grips your attention and directs it to one place or another is something that's, well, it's a deep instinct. It's a manifestation of what Jung called the self. It means in some sense that something as fundamental as your attention is more or less controlled by processes that are so deep that you don't have a tremendous amount of voluntary control over them. Like, you can interact with the forces to some degree, but you're not one of those creatures that can just tell yourself what to do. Life would be really easy if that's what it was like, right? Well, it's time to go to the gym 3 days a week, 2 hours a day. It's like, you're Superman in 2 years, and you're going to eat properly, and you're not going to drink too much, and you're not going to take cocaine, and all of these things. You just tell yourself that, and bang, you quit. And it's kind of weird that it isn't that way, but it's really seriously not that way.